Today we've got Maximum Thor, and I think we've finally gotten one that lives up to the title of Maximum. So let's check him out.
And here we go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Maximum Series Thor. Is this one going to turn out to be kind of another overhyped dud like the others, or is this one living up to the hype?
Not a chance.
Oh, it's kind of somewhere in between. To be quite honest, there are definitely some things we need to discuss. So let's get started with his package. Maximum Series has a nice package, nice big window and stuff. The packaging itself is the same size as the Maximum Spider-Man and Maximum Deadpool. I like it. They went with a blue motif here. On the back, it's got a decent looking figure image right there with him and that little frog. We'll talk about that more here in a minute. But overall, very, very nice packaging from Marvel Legends. They usually do some pretty good stuff. Let's talk about Thor here. This guy, if you're just looking at him, he looks really freaking cool. And even in hand, he feels cool. This is a big figure. I'm actually going to measure him. I don't normally do that, or I haven't done that in quite a while, but I want to measure him because he's tall. To the top of his helmet, he's about 7¼ inches, which would make him about 18½ centimeters. So this is bigger than like your normal kind of average size Marvel Legends. This is a big guy. Is Thor supposed to be 7 feet tall? Somebody tell me down in the comments. But he looks really cool. He's got lots of textures on this figure. If you're somebody that kind of likes the feel of a figure, to have with this scale mail or chain mail, whatever this is that is on his arms and legs, that feels really, really nice, and it is done really, really well. The body armor kind of leather stuff, it feels like leather. It's really, really nice. This part down here, it's soft plastic, but it kind of has a leather feel to it. The boots are the same way, especially the parts right around here in the kneecaps. That feels really, really good. The boots have a texture to them. I really like that. And then you get, it contrasts with the smoothness of these little eyelets, whatever these things are, the little circle saucer things. The belt looks really good. The paint on it is good. The paint everywhere on this thing, where it is really nicely done. The head sculpts that we will look at more here in a minute are painted and done very, very well, even though they're the comic like depiction as far as like the face and what he's supposed to look like. It's done very photorealistic. I don't know about that choices, but Hasbro's been doing that for a hot minute, so it's not that big a deal. Hair looks good. It's got some subtle wash in it. On the helmet here, the wings, that could use some dry brush or something to make that pop, but so could the rest of the figure. But he looks really good. Let's talk about his cape for a minute, because the cape, in my opinion, is done pretty darn well, minus one thing. We'll talk about the good first. It is wired all the way around. It is very posable. It is a nice material. It's kind of thick. It is not super thin. I really like that. It drapes over the shoulders very well. It sits on the figure well. Problem I have with is that it is connected up underneath there to the body. You can't take it off, and that would have been cool if we could have removed this, because he's got this little leather strap, which is done very well, by the way, around him, and it goes up underneath, and it's got this little loop right there. And for the life of me, I don't really, what goes there? Does Mjolnir go there? I didn't think he carried him on his back. Maybe he does. I don't know. But that's right there, and this should come off, or at least it'd be nice if it did, just so that it's not in the way of that little loop, because if you can see, that loop pushes down the back part of the cape a little bit. But as far as his look, he looks really good. I like his skin tone and stuff too. It looks really cool. This is just overall, his proportions are good. This is a nice looking figure, and I'm not somebody that usually gushes over Marvel Legends, but for what he's got going on, he looks really good. And like I said, he's really big. I wanted to compare him. The only other Thor I have is this dark Thor right here, and it's kind of a tall figure, and this actually has a little bit of height on him, if you can see that, just ever so slightly, maybe about 1/4 inch or whatever. And like I said, this is a big figure, and we've got some of the other, the other three Maximum releases back there. Here he is next to the Deadpool, and you can see how much bigger he is than Deadpool, and Deadpool is just one of, those average size figures or whatever. And here he is with the brand new day Hulk. Of course, Hulk is bigger, but not that much bigger. I mean, look at him. This Thor is really big, and I kind of like that. Let's talk about his accessories really quick, because he comes with a bunch of stuff. I have. Now for accessories, we get 3 different head sculpts with a twist. We get the regular one here with the blonde hair sticking off, and I really like the face right here. This kind of a smirking face. Nice wash in the hair. Hair's nice and flexible, so it'll move around, but we'll talk about that more here in the articulation. And then we get 2 bald-headed heads right here, one with a open mouth yelling face and one with a serious face, and they both look really, really nice, like I said earlier, and they share this little helmeted, I'll call it kind of a wig right here, that looks really good as well with the feather wings on the ears or whatever. Again, they could use some dry brush, but look pretty good. I like that. He also comes with 6 different hands. He comes with a couple of different open hands on him in the package that look okay, and he gets a couple of fist hands sculpted nicely. They look pretty darn decent, and then 2 gripping hands, and I like that he has 2 of them for another accessory that he has here in a minute, because he can hold Mjolnir and his beer all at the same time. We also get this little frog thing right here. That looks cool enough, I suppose. Could probably use some paint on the cape, but it kind of reminds me of Captain Ginyu's frog. And he also, like I said about a beer, he's got his little horn cup chalice type of thing here, which is kind of cool, I guess. It's soft, flexible plastic, but it's painted decent enough, I suppose. And then he comes with a couple of different Mjolnirs. He's got this regular one right here, and I like it pretty well. It's done okay. The handle is really soft and kind of cheap feeling, to be quite honest with you, and it could use some dry brush along the handle. And then the other one right here, where it's attached to the fist, so it could look like he's flying through the air, and that's pretty cool, I suppose. Also, for some reason, we have an exchangeable Mjolnir handle for the other one, in case you want the little talus on the end there to move around, whatever. And then lastly, we have some lightning effects, and they're pretty cool. A little too blue for me. I'd like to have seen a little bit more white in them, just because it's lightning. I mean, I guess there's blue lightning or whatever, but they're done pretty cool. But they are super duper flexible. They're made out of the same stuff that like Spider-Man's webbing is. Overall, I guess that's about all you could ask for a. Now, as far as his articulation, he actually moves pretty good, but I've got some complaints, so let's just start at the top. He has a neck joint and a head double ball peg in the head and neck, and I'm just going to pop the head off and show you. He's got the double ball peg, like I just said, and the neck itself is on a ball peg, and the neck moves around, so that's pretty decent. So when you put the head on, it can pretty much just kind of move around however you want, and I really, really like that. Ooh, and an added option, I didn't know that this hair comes off this head, so you can interchange the helmeted head and the plain old hair head on all 3 of the head sculpts, so that's pretty cool. So far I like the way the head and neck are moving. Shoulders, way above 90, that's really nice. Full 360, of course. They have a butterfly in here, but it is absolutely useless. It doesn't do... Well, it doesn't do shit. So that's unfortunate, but it is there. Bicep swivel, of course. Double jointed elbow. That's pretty decent range for a big old muscular arm, so that's not too bad in my opinion. Wrists are on hinges, so they move around and you get your full 360. Now, torso break right here. Not super movable. It flexes if you really fight it. You can get him to crunch forward about that far right there. He'll lean back about that far on it, so it's not the best, but it's not the worst we've ever seen. And of course, you get your twist and tilt and all that stuff on it. Down here in the waist, he has a ball peg in the waist, which is really, really nice. So it adds to that, so you can kind of lean forward and back and do some more stuff. So that's pretty darn good. Down here, this is soft plastic, so this does not impede his legs. Not quite a full split, but that's not too terrible either. My only problem, legs are loose. Yes. That's not that good. Front kick above the waist, so that's actually pretty decent right there. But like I said, it's loose legs. It's a solid booty piece under there, so the legs don't really kick back. Thigh swivel, that again is loose, but it does function. Double jointed knee, pretty good range for a big old leg, and the proportions are good. No shin swivel. Ankles are a hinge. They'll go all the way down. They'll come up a little bit for you. Got a lot of ankle rocker, peg hole in the bottom of the foot. Now his toe hinge, too far back, it's too loose, and that looks like absolute garbage crap. So his articulation, it's like they tried to do the right things, but didn't execute them very well. Those shoulders suck. The legs are too loose, and that toe hinge is not that awesome. Slightly above average articulation for a Marvel Legends. Nothing maximum, unfortunately, as far as that's concerned. Final thoughts on him. I'll give him a C+. I like the look of him, and I do like the feel of him, and I think his accessories are pretty cool. Even though he feels more fluid when you move him, there's some room for improvement for sure. But then again, we're talking about Hasbro, so that's always going to be a thing. Overall, this isn't too terrible of a figure. Is it the best? I don't know. I'm probably going to do a video where I'll sit down and compare all 4 of our maximum releases and find out which one is the most maximum of all of them. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. But, yeah, that's about all I've got for him. So like, subscribe, comment. And this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.